Hi, this is Christy again. It is the end of March. It's almost April. For those of you who have kids who are applying to college right now, you know that this is a really big time. Acceptance letters are coming through. Acceptance letters have come through and people are already, deciding where to go. Some people who have younger kids are getting their SAT scores back for the first time. There are a lot of really exciting things going on right now in the life of the average high school senior, junior, or even sophomore if they're ahead of the game. So Facebook is one of those places where everybody loves to share this good news. When they're little, when they use the potty for the first time and their first steps and their first soccer goal and all of those things. And it has translated into a place where it's so great to share your good news. But if you're not keeping up with that, what's going on in the lives of your family, your kids, is not the same or cannot compare from a good news perspective to what's going on in the lives of those with whom you're friends and with whom you're connected, it can be a really lonely time. I was actually talking to my ex-husband about this very recently. He's feeling the same thing. He, in some of my other videos, you may have heard me talk about the fact that my eldest son, who's a senior in high school right now, is on what we're calling an unconventional path. Having come from a traditional family myself, the traditional path, of course, is you go to high school, you do what you can to get the best grades possible, and then at the end of your junior year and the beginning of your senior year, you spend every waking hour thinking about what's next and where you're going to go. These days, you don't wait that long. These days, our kids start talking about it earlier than that, and we work with kids as early as 8th grade to think about what that process is like, what that process entails, how long you should spend on each thing, whether it's testing or grades or essays or extracurricular lists and all of those things. But we are in a place where we're not doing that right now. And my son will graduate from high school. He's very smart. We're just not sure what comes next, is I guess how to put it. The college application process has been not prime on his mind. We've been focused on some other things, and before you know it, it's April this weekend, and college this fall is just not going to happen for us, for him. That's one of the things we learn, don't we, is that it's not about us. It's his journey. This is his life. But as a parent, you feel really connected to that, of course, and you own it a little bit. And if you're doing it right, you're standing back with your hands behind your back, and although you really want to say something, you let him own it and you let him make his own mistakes and his own decisions, and that's the way it's supposed to be. But we don't necessarily do that very well as parents. I think we either live vicariously or we just want the best for them, and sometimes that manifests in ways that may not be as helpful as we think they are. But back to Facebook. So the problem with that, how we own a portion of this process that is not ours to own, is that we post about it. We post about it on Facebook. We post about it on Instagram. We tweet about it. All of these ways now to share this news, even if it's not necessarily our news. We share college visitations, and I was reading an article recently about how even though it's a simple, hey, we're visiting such and such college and it's beautiful here, somehow it ends up a passive brag, or I don't remember what the word is for it, but it's it's a humble brag, is I think what they're calling it. So this way of saying, oh yeah, we're just taking a couple of days, you know, I can't believe the process is here already. Look, we're at Princeton. Look, we're at Harvard. And so by the fact that you're seeing those things as realistic choices, it is sort of bragging, you know, we're Ivy League people. And I'm not saying people shouldn't be proud of their kids. The reason this is coming up for me, as well as for some people that I know, other people that I know that are feeling this way, it can be a really lonely time. You can have all sorts of feelings, from resent to anger to depression, with regard to not feeling like you're keeping up, like everybody else is going through these wonderful things except you, because they're sharing it on Facebook. So therefore, this is what their life looks like, right? It's all of these rainbows and unicorns and Ivy League colleges and perfect SAT scores. And one of the things that I constantly have to remind myself of is that on Facebook, people aren't sharing their innermost worries and concerns and terrible moments, and you know, they're sharing the Donna Reed moments, right? They're sharing the perfect, for the most part. You know, there are some people who are completely authentic, live out loud, I'm going to share everything with you no matter what. But I think those aren't the people that we compare ourselves to. We compare ourselves to the people who are out there sharing the medals and the awards and the honors and the accomplishments over and over and over again of their kids, in an effort to show them how much they're proud of them, which, you know, is an honorable ambition to show your kids that you're proud. That's great. But the side effect is that you may be alienating yourselves, or they may be alienating themselves from friends of theirs who, perhaps like me, aren't living the same life right now. By definition, probably should be. I have a kid the same age, you know, maybe even in the same school, that sort of thing. But our circumstances are just different. We're on a different clock, and we'll be fine. We're figuring it out. But in the meantime, it's difficult to muster up sometimes the joy that you feel you should have for those other people whom you love and are so happy for, of course. But you know, it's difficult because it's you can't help as a human you can't help it but compare yourself to that measure, and it's difficult to let yourself be human and know that every deep dark secret, all of the good and all of the bad about yourself, that you're the only person that you know that about, because of course you're the only one who's in here 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You're stuck with yourself, right? But even the people that you know best, you don't know every in and out about them. You don't know all of their pains and insecurities. So they can be seen as these incredibly confident, successful, happy people. And what you have to remember as you're watching their Facebook feed play out is that those things are wonderful, and you can be happy for them in those moments and the accomplishments that they and their families have. But don't forget that when their cameras are off, they are living a life that is completely real and authentic and human, just like you are. I'm going through that right now on numerous fronts, but I am really happy for the people whom I love, who are having success and happiness and feeling senses of accomplishment to the point that they want to share that with their people. And I work every day I've decided to stay on Facebook. I'm not going to let it scare me away from the positive things that I take from Facebook, which are staying connected with people whom I love, who are in places like Arizona and Florida and Europe and San Francisco, and all of those people that I might not be able to see their smiling face otherwise, unless I check my Facebook feed once a day. So I hope this was helpful for you if you're going through something similar. We are going to continue to talk about this as the year goes on, and as we go through these stages of the parent experience of watching your kids grow and letting go more and more, and inevitably feeling and identifying and owning some of that success and some of that failure for yourself. And so in the meantime, keep an eye on these videos. Please feel free to subscribe to the page. And there is a place to leave comments below. We welcome them. We will be checking in regularly. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.